All right. We are in the pregame show. See, we have the Keno Kid in the house hanging out. If there's anybody else in here. But anyway, just testing this out. Lighting, as usual, is kind of crappy in here. So if you're watching this on replay, you can probably skip ahead 3-4 minutes. But I'll be right back. Okay. On the iced tea tonight, Keno back in the house, along with potentially others. Wanted to make sure that this bookshelf footage is on point. We have the, of course, this is the classic piece of bookshelf footage right there. We got all kinds of troublemakers represented up here. There's Gambling Granny. People give me stuff, I put it up here. So there you go. There you go. There we go. And there's Mrs. Candy in the house. Ronnie C. Thanks for dropping by. It's like an all-night gathering. Although I don't know that anybody's doing anything after this. You can see we're still in the original studio location. One of these days we will bring you live stream footage from an alternate location. As soon as the alternate location is not does not involve sleeping people. Mark, good to have you in the house. Two Marks in the house. Hello, Mark Angelo. Nice to see you. All the marks are happening on the tea tonight. I think we still have some Fago. Frankly, stuff's too damn sweet. So I'm just sticking with the non-sweetened tea tonight. Remarks include Keno. Penny's is very clever tonight. He has a definite cleverness happening. We got Walt and Tina in the house, which is appropriate. We have another Frontiersman shirt representing tonight. I mean, I got 3 free shirts, but I wear them all the time. Actually, I wear them when my clothes need to be laundered. But thanks for joining, Walt and Tina. Always good to see you all. We'll give it a couple of more minutes. The Mr. Keno Kid and Mr. Penny's threatening to have a bit of a dust up here in the chat. They are comfy, so there you go. And yes, there's Miss Tina. We're going live tonight with some special inside information. So if you're here tonight, and there's a few of you that already, well, not quite that inside, but we're going to talk about a surprise trip to Las Vegas that has not been revealed to the general public. Let me see, Pennies. Going to give it just a couple more minutes. I think we are what about 35 days out from the next Vegas trip. I believe should be arriving. Actually, probably still waiting to fly out 5 weeks from today. Mr. Penny should be there already. Mr. Lee. Everybody loves Mr. Lee. If you've not been on the Twitter tonight, Mr. Lee hit a progressive royal today on his last day in Vegas for $2,400. $2,400. So next time you see Lee 777, make sure that he buys you a drink. Adam, thank you for joining us tonight on our monthly living stream. So we will talk a little bit about the upcoming trip, but we have some other Vegas stuff. Lee returns Bobby's horseshoe. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps Bobby has left the metro area, and so Lee has simply inherited his extreme good fortune. That's lovely. So anyway, hey, Tracy, thank you for joining us. It's good to see Tracy in the house. Those of you who are members of the channel, there's a few of you in the house, we will likely do a members giveaway next month. So an eye open for that. I finally got an email from Diana, who won the last giveaway, so we can finally award her her prize. But hey, the reason, one of the reasons that I wanted to go ahead and do the live tonight is because I have just returned from Vegas. And almost none of you people knew anything about it. Hello, Jackie. Welcome. Always good to have a slot gypsy in the house, particularly the lucky one, because Jackie always wins. But as I was saying, took a surprise trip to Las Vegas, which a couple of you knew about because you were also going to be in town. So I figured I would clue you in case we ran into one another. But yeah, so flew out. It was just the significant other and I. Caitlin had not been to Las Vegas before. Did not really want to go during a big gathering, so we kind of plotted a private trip, and we flew out on the night of July the 10th and ended up being there for 5 nights, mostly staying at Luxor, which was once again quite acceptable. Had a 1-bedroom suite and was very nice. Very comfortable. I think I paid a total of $40 for all 4 nights for that suite. So Luxor taking good care of us. JR and the vodka. That's right. I just took vodka to Vegas this time. I'm trying to remember if there was any vodka involved in this trip. But anyway, yeah. So that was cool. And since we have slightly different sleep schedules, it was nice that I could get up and go into the actual bathroom, or not the bathroom, into the living room area. And so that was nice, just to have a couple hours to sort of not get in each other's way. But I don't know if you'd call it a tower suite, Jackie. I mean, it's just a 1-bedroom suite. I think we were in the East Tower. It is definitely a room that is due, I think, for a renovation, but still, again, it was clean. It was clean enough for her, which meant it was clean enough for me, and just a really nice, good amount of space. Of course, a good distance, I'm afraid. Walk to the casino. Ori, welcome. Glad to have you in the house. Norman Lear, all of 100 years old today, joining us. Enjoyed All in the Family. It's a good show. Appreciate you being a part of our live stream tonight. So definitely say hello to Norman Lear. Yeah, I think there was like one night that I actually paid for, which was pretty good. And then since with all the tier matching, there was no resort fees, which was also nice. But yeah, we got in very late on Sunday night. The flight was delayed until we didn't even leave Kansas City till almost 10:30. And so we didn't get into Vegas until like 11:30. Didn't really get into the room until like 12:15, 12:30. The Kinos were still in town, but we got in so late. I just was like, I felt guilty about even trying to lure them down to Luxor, uh, knowing that they had to take off the next day. But they were in on that information. So we gambled a little bit at Luxor and a little bit at Excalibur. Uh, got yelled at by a guy as we dared to suggest quietly. We thought that maybe the casino was not an ideal place for a baby, but yeah. So no real particular luck one way or the other on Sunday night, uh, but we did all right. She seemed to take to the video blackjack initially. Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Candy. Would have been nice to have touched base at least. So, yeah. No Kinos is your favorite way to do Vegas. Well, there you go. There you go. It's kind of hard to do it though. They're there literally all the time. So that was cool. We got some food finally at the food court at this was a high end sort of trip. We ate it like Bonanno's Pizza like 3 times. It was pretty good. I think we had Nathan's hot dogs once. So it was just this was really high end exotic dining. I rented a car on Monday and we did a lot of driving around Vegas that day, uh, checking out some outlying areas, which I thought might be fun. Of course, we didn't end up actually like driving all the way out to the dam. There was always something getting in the way of that. We actually had reservations to eat at Emerald's over at MGM Grand, and it ran late and never made it out there. But it was fun just kind of driving around, checking out some stuff. And yeah, I discovered a really cool little scenic drive for those of you who may occasionally rent a vehicle. We drove out to on Charleston out to Red Rock and then beyond and got on the 215. And there's a point where you can exit the 215 and you can take that little 13-mile loop through Red Rock Canyon, which I've done a couple of times. It's very a beautiful place. I think they charge you a few bucks these days, probably more than they used to. But we ended up just taking the 215 all the way around the southwest side of Las Vegas. And it was really pretty. Not a lot of traffic out there. You know, maybe not literally a national park or monument, but very, very beautiful out there. Had some music going, made a nice soundtrack to the trip. So picked up a few supplies for the room, and then pretty much just chilled the rest of the night. But yeah, the reservations were hard to get at Bonanno's. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, actually, I mean, I had no problem getting the reservation at Emerald's, which I guess is still there. So yeah, so yeah, I had never taken that little loop around Vegas, and of course, you come back out on like Blue Diamond. There's a lot of development out in that area, so it's very pretty. If I ever move to Las Vegas, that might be a good part of Las Vegas to live in. So anyway, so that was fun. Tuesday was kind of sightseeing day. And once we got up and around, we just kind of slowly made our way north on the strip, trying to check out the must-see attractions along the way. Bonnie Springs. I have not been to Bonnie Springs. Not been to Bonnie Springs. You say it closed. Well, that's not going to help me much at all now, is it? Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun loop. Tuesday, I returned the vehicle. Um, there was some kind of a mishap with the vehicle and the credit card. There was a fraudulent charge from Avis. I don't know exactly what happened there. Uh, the nice people at Chase Bank caught it, and ultimately I was charged what I was supposed to be charged. But yeah, there may have been some shenanigans going on there at the Luxor's Avis outlet. I can't prove anything, but I might shy away from using that particular service there. Can't prove anything. But anyway, so yeah, Tuesday we just kind of made our way north up the strip, checking out a lot of different um, hotels because she had not been to any of these. Ultimately, made our way, of course, to Bellagio, checked out the fountains, walked through Caesars and Caesars Forum shops and everything. Made our way up to Mirage for presumably one last look at the volcano. I don't know if it'll still be going when I'm there in September, but and at that point it was just about dark and we were just about kind of done, to be honest. Ended up walking over to Casino Royale and getting a little something to eat and drink there, and then made our way to Harrah's. And this is where we were fortunate enough to run into Walt and Tina, who were the only two people we actually saw on the trip, or who saw us at least. So had a nice little chat with them for a bit there, and it was always good to see them. They were looking well. I think were staying over at the Link, if I remember correctly. Got a couple of videos out already, I know, on their particular time there in Las Vegas. So we played there for a while. Yeah. Played at Harrah's and then slowly made our way back down to, I think we made it as far as Cosmo, but we really didn't play at Cosmo. And then we finally got a ride back down to Luxor. Thank you, Tina. She was, yeah, she seemed to think that the two of you were okay. As she says, many people think that she's quite charming when they first meet her because she typically doesn't say a lot. But yeah, I think she is also quite charming. Yeah. So anyway, I did not get to sample Walt's whiskey bar, though I'm sure it would have been quite an impressive selection of whiskeys if I had. Look back at the chat here. Definitely. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we made our way downtown because we planned to do that on Tuesday. It didn't work out. Ended up going downtown on Wednesday after, I'd say, a fairly late start to the day. This was to be our last night in town. We had a very early flight in the morning, or at least that was the plan. We ended up taking a ride share down to the D, played a little bit at Bar Canada. I kept trying to teach Caitlin the art of getting a free cocktail at the bars. She seemed to have caught on to it after a couple of days. I think we figured out that her official drink is the tequila sunrise. She found this to be a tasty treat. So that's her drink, I guess. But yeah, so we played there for just a little bit. I played some Keno, didn't really have much luck. Decided we would move over to the Fortune Cup. probably could have played the that other game, with the horses, but it's pretty full. So we settled in and played for a little while on the Fortune Cup, and I was playing my usual mix of extremely conservative bets combined with extremely high odds bets. And we had a quinella. I put $1 down on a quinella that I think was the two longest shots in the game. And I can't even remember what the payoff. I think the payoff was something like 290 something to 1. And they came in. And I was pretty excited. I put $1 down and won almost $300 until I looked over next to me, and she had put down $5 on the same bet. And so a little message comes up to the effect that they will have to send someone over to pay this out because that is a hand pay, which is pretty nice. Nice on, I guess, what, your third night or fourth night in Las Vegas. I don't think they probably do a lot of hand pays on the Fortune Cup game, but they did that night. So that was pretty cool. We left the D, went down to Circa for a little while and played. And we decided that we had made so much money that we were going to go ahead and change our flight and stay another night. Someone said, I think Mark said this was a very cinnamon thing to do, which I guess it was. But yeah, it wasn't cheap, but I guess was kind of a little gift to ourselves. Otherwise, we were going to be flying out at leaving at like 5 in the morning of that next night or that next day. So we ended up changing it, and so we needed a room for that last night, and we ended up booking at one night at the Sahara. Had not stayed at Sahara since it was the SLS. Kino was quite accurate in noting that that the thumbnail for this particular live stream was actually a picture taken from inside one of the rooms at the Sahara, and that is correct. So I was generally pretty pleased, and the Sahara, I don't believe that that her luck was particularly good that last night, but mine was quite good that day after we moved over there. I sat down, put $100 in the machine at the Casbar Lounge or bar, if you want to call it that, and proceeded to hit 800 quarters on double bonus, and then within probably 10 minutes, I twice on Ultimate X Keno hit 1,400 quarters. So you can do that math, but I probably left the bar when we finally went to check into our room and was up about $750 for about an hour and a half's work. So again, we were very fortunate on this trip, and so all of the winnings at least paid for the excess, I guess, of sticking around for another day. But yeah, I've never had any luck at Ultimate X Keno before, but I hit 7 out of 8 with a 4 times multiplier, which comes out to be 1,400 quarters. So that was a pretty nice session there. One thing that was kind of disappointing, and I guess there is technically another bar there at Sahara, kind of towards back by registration, but it's not really a VP bar or anything. It's kind of disappointing. There's only really one sort of player's bar there. And later in the evening, it got kind of crowded. So was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't. I was surprised that they didn't still have a bar sort of closer to the main entrance like they used to. But oh well. Otherwise, the room was fine. Generally, didn't really have any complaints about Sahara. Um, yeah, it was fine. We ended up eating at Chicky and Pete's that night before retiring for the evening. Hello, Diana. Welcome to the chat. Glad you could drop by. One of our loyal viewers from north of the border. I was saying that I just got an email finally from Diana, so we will have to finally send Diana her members prize from the giveaway we did like 3 months ago. So I believe Diana is coming to town, her and her husband, for Mark Timber. So we will look forward to finally meeting her in person after all this time. But yeah, as I was saying, we went to Chicky and Pete's, and I don't know what we I don't think we got lobster fries. We got some like chicken tender things and some kind of fries. So maybe we did get lobster fries. Both of the things we had were really good. Or maybe we were really hungry and had been drinking all day. But we were both very impressed with the food there for a chain, for a sports bar kind of environment. I look forward to going back someday, with a full menu, because it was basically just the late night menu that we pulled from. And but we both thought it was very good and would definitely repeat. She played quite a bit. We got her an actual player's card at Sahara. I had multiple copies of my players cards, and so she had played on those when we were at MGM, and also briefly at Caesar's Properties. But she got her own card there at Sahara and actually played a lot. So we're hoping that one of us will get some kind of a room offer based on her play. She'll probably be the one that gets it. So yeah, I would definitely stay there again for at least for a night or two. I don't know that I'd want to spend an entire, trip, like 5, 6 days, that far to the north. But generally had a good, and we basically didn't leave the casino there at Sahara that evening. Thought about going to the Strat, but it didn't happen. We walked across the street, I guess, to Walgreens, picked up a couple of things there, but otherwise, and then, had time to head out the next morning. Um, Once we could get everybody up and around and heading to the airport, and pretty nondescript flight home. And yeah, an all too brief visit to Las Vegas, but longer than it was initially intended to be. So there you have it. I know that we just missed an opportunity. Well, there were several people beyond the Kenos that we missed an opportunity to at least say hello to. Seeking Vegas Sunrise arrived the day we were supposed to leave, but that it didn't actually work out. I guess it would have been possible to have probably seen them that first night if we had been what would you call it, motivated to make that effort. Would have been good to see them. And then Blair G was around. I know he was downtown one night, the night we were originally going to go downtown. And some of the Brits were in town. Matt Bridger was around. He had said he was looking forward to finally meeting up, but it just didn't happen. And Nikki and Claire had just arrived in town too while we were there. And again, it turned out that with that extra day, if we'd made the effort, we probably could have touched base with them briefly as well. But that's fine. There'll be other trips and other opportunities to connect up with those folks. So, but we appreciate all of those people that corresponded quietly during that particular week, and were universally supportive and would have been very happy to meet up with them. So, hello, Coco. Good to see you. Coco, I think, was a big winner last night in the cinnamon live stream. So, certainly appreciate that. And I certainly want to appreciate Adam Burchett for the $20 super chat. Thank you, Adam. Don't spend this at Chicky and Pete's. You did a secret trip. Good for y'all. Well, thank you for the super chat. Always much appreciated. And Adam, also a longtime supporter of the channel. Happy to have him in the house and in the chat tonight. And hopefully one day we'll run into Mr. Adam in Las Vegas. There's a lot of people in the chat tonight that I have not had the good fortune of meeting yet. So, and I know a lot of people are planning to head out in October. It's very unlikely I'm going to be there in October unless we hit the Mega Millions jackpot here. I don't know if anybody won that last night. I didn't hear. I know Caitlin bought some tickets. She's still talking to me. So I'm guessing if she had won big, maybe she wouldn't. I don't know. EJ and Jenny and me. Hey, thanks for dropping by for a bit. Like I took a wrong turn and landed here. Yeah, well, there you go. That does tend to be how it goes. No one did 1.1 billion now. What will I do with 1.1 billion dollars? I might have to retire. Yeah, Mark, still on for the the trip August 30th to September 8th, or 31st to the 8th. Mark's there on the 30th. I get in on the 31st very late. So definitely definitely be there during that time frame. So hopefully you folks will also be there for that. I'm expecting they're going to be. Nobody won. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's almost too much. I mean, I always used to like to buy the lottery tickets when it was like, it was only like the minimum amount. I was always like, well, I could get by with 20 million or 40 million or something. Jackpot over $1 billion. Would move to Vegas for sure. Yeah, I think I would have like homes in 3 or 4 different places. Because it seems like maybe one good thing maybe to invest in at that point would be real estate anyway. So $1 billion is a lot of cheese. Yeah. Of course, if I win $1 billion, I will, definitely join all your channels. Yeah, that's it. I'll become a member of all of your channels. Yeah, definitely. The Kinos are, you didn't check out the Kino premiere right before this broadcast, then you'll definitely want to do that going forward. But yeah. Now, what else did we learn on the trip? Like I said, Caitlin enjoyed Las Vegas a lot. Definitely wants to go back. I don't know if she's going to be able to join us for part, possibly, of the September trip. If so, probably the last few days. Airfare is pretty ridiculous trying to fly out there over the weekend, but we will see. Let's see what else. Yeah, she's also a very good tipper. I told her that she would be referred to as a George in Las Vegas. Cocktail waitresses were getting 5s and 10s for drinks. So yeah, that would definitely be a pretty good area, the Summerlin area, to have a home in Vegas. I think Red Rock would be a great sort of casino if you were a local. This is such a very nice place that still sort of caters to that. So we did not stop at Red Rock Casino, but we did drive by it. But definitely like to check that place out again on a future trip. The beer bottles behind you, there are literally in this apartment probably, I would say around 200 beer bottles of different types, most of which I accumulated probably 4, 5, 6 years ago. Um, there's several places here in Lawrence where you can basically assemble your own 6-pack from individual bottles. And typically that's what I did. And I just kept the bottles. Um, I'm thinking the next time I move, they probably aren't all going to make the trip. But they did from the last time. And yeah, there is, we do have several anchor beers up in the area over here, including, we've got Liberty Ale, traditional Anchor Steam, a lager, an IPA, uh, a porter. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different Anchor beers. On the wall to the other side here, and I don't know how easily this would be. There's a whole bunch of those beers are pretty much all Sierra Nevada beers, pretty much all the way around. And then looking at the other part in that corner, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's some local beers there from Boulevard Brewing in Kansas City, and then also from Free State Brewing Company right here in Lawrence. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, if you go, there's a ledge that kind of runs all the way around the perimeter of this apartment. And so in the living room, there's also beers typically organized by the company that they were brewed by. And there's even some in the bedroom. Well, this is a bedroom too, but it's become an office, if you want to call it that. So yeah, there's a pretty large amount. Yes, Penny's hates beer. Uh, I don't think Penny's hates beer. Doesn't you might not be too keen on some of these particular varieties of beer, but yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't know how long most of these are going to stay live, but I tried just about every individual beer I could find at the local uh, liquor stores a few years back, and so that's what you see along the walls. Uh, I tend to be when I do sample non American lager type beers, I um, typically tend towards the ales, the IPAs, that sort of thing. But, is that a Pennies for Dummies book behind you? There is probably a Pennies. There's a For Dummies book probably back here. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, Not a huge fan of pop, but still watch the editing massive sleeves. I did not see that video. I Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm not a huge fan of Pomsey, but I have to say I do enjoy watching his videos from time to time because they are very well done on a technical level. Um, I see, and of course, I don't think anybody here has been in Vegas recently. Um, but did you see that? Was it Jacob, Pomsey, and Greta, and then Norm all had a big local Vegas vlogger meetup, I think, at the Plaza a few days ago. So, I mean, if I'd have been in town and I thought about it, particularly if I'd have been staying downtown, I probably would have gone. Be interesting. It's curious, and maybe it's not curious that neither Pomsey nor Jacob really was ever much of a gambler. Apparently, Jacob never really gambled. at all. So tell but yeah, there's uh, yeah, yeah. Had on a Kansas shirt. I didn't. I thought about putting on the Kansas National Championship shirt tonight. That changed my mind. So yeah, yeah. No, I think I took the joke too literally because I thought there might actually be a For Dummies book back there. Um, I had a I had that tells you how old I am. I had an HTML for Dummies book. Because like back in the late 1990s, early 2000s, I built a Las Vegas website, and I used the HTML for Dummies book to help figure it out. And it was pretty advanced for the time because it was basically an interactive strip map. So I tried to more or less put the hotels where they were supposed to be, and then used made a clickable link um, on those. Of course, some of the hotels had little or nothing on their websites at that point, but it was still kind of a cool little map, interactive map, maybe 10 years ahead of its time, maybe. But that was kind of fun putting that together. And yeah, that came from my HTML for Dummy, DOS for Dummies. Yeah, yeah, not feeling that one either. DOS rocked. No, Unix rocks, man. That code is still solid. Yeah, we all learned how to code through MySpace. Yeah, I mean, was the badge of honor that how long your MySpace would finally take to load. And he would let he would land on the page, and high speed internet was not necessarily as high speed then as it is now, and so you go to your page and it might take 5-10 minutes for everything to load, and by that time you'd have like 4 different songs playing at the same time, so absolutely nothing made any sense. But you had to go on there because you had to keep moving around your friends so that people that had bumped themselves up. uh, yeah, there you go. That was always fun. Pitties, I'm glad you asked that question. There are a few short videos that I made on the trip. I did not vlog every moment of every day, as you've pointed out. Uh, the young lady did not really want to be part of a full-on vlog, but I did record like 3 videos that I am going to be posting here in a couple of weeks because I will be out of town visiting family. And so I will not have really much time to do my weekly sort of tips and tricks video. And so we will be showing those videos. And I think all 3 of them are reasonably interesting for different reasons. So there is a little bit of Vegas content coming from the trip. JP wasn't allowed on this trip. I think someone asked about JP. I've not seen JP in quite some time, and I think perhaps he's angry with me. I'm not entirely sure. AOL chat rooms. It's where we first found true love with a 47-year-old man pretending to be named Angie. Those were the days. And that man's real name was Walt. No, it wasn't. It was not. Yeah. I love the old chat rooms. All right, quick. ICQ. I do remember it. I know I had some friends and family that used it frequently. I did not really use it much. I did use a messenger, definitely. But yeah, ICQ. Uh, hey, Tom and Mindy have arrived safely back in Oklahoma. Videos to follow, I'm certain. Glad that you are safely back in the Sooner State. Thanks for dropping by to say hello. That's right. It's Tom and Effin Mindy. Yeah. So there you have it. No, so yeah, so I think about a day or two after I got back and was having to go back to work, I think I messaged Mark and said, "How many days until the trip in September?" Uh, so looking forward to that. Should be a relaxing week, I do believe. Uh, oh, Mindy's versus Penny's celebrity death match could be coming. Have all the espresso. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the trip past and whatever's coming up in the future. Uh, I think the only sort of big events planned for September is the Mark Timber celebration on the 5th at Ellis Island. For more details, feel free to message Pennies for Vegas anytime, day or night. He loves your messages, wants to hug you. Speaking of hugging people, no Andy tonight. But, I trust that Andy is doing well and in good spirits. And, but I've not talked to him in a couple of days. So. But we know he's sleeping, as many of us probably will be sooner rather than later. Not to the death. Yeah, I happened to stumble on I have a free subscription to Paramount Plus uh, through my um, cellular provider for a year. Was watch the Beavis and Butthead movie where they go to Las Vegas. They look for sluts in Las Vegas, and then also caught a couple episodes of Celebrity Deathmatch from the other day as well. Bring back some great memories. It was Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton tearing each other limb from limb. A charming show, certainly one that helped with the healthy development of our children. So many sluts in Vegas. There you go. I'm thinking that the person that voiced the old lady on the plane and later in on the bus in that movie was somebody relatively famous. And now I'm going to have to find out because her voice was very, very familiar to me. Tom is on a strict allowance. And that allowance does not allow him to do much. Well, there you go, Beavis. I think Beavis and Butthead are coming back. So something to look forward to. No, it's not Walt Whiskey Night. This is just iced tea. Very refreshing on a hot summer night. Yeah, there you go. Ah, yeah. Vegas was hot the week we were there, but it doesn't seem like it was oppressively hot. Definitely was not the hottest trip, at least from the point of view of the weather. Anyway, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Long Island, right? Yeah, yeah. That doesn't sound too bad either right now. I wouldn't mind downing a couple of Long Islands for bed, but I don't think that's probably going to be happening tonight. Now we're on the teetotaling treats tonight, but yeah. Uh, Beavis about to do the universe is the new one. All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to watch that. Thinking it'll be coming pretty soon to a streaming service near you. But so yeah, a lot of of useless quality television on these little streaming services they have now. Uh, you know, forget paying like $20 for the Netflix stuff and all that stuff, but like you get this like Discovery Plus. There's like 8,500 episodes of you know, Bobby Flay takes on the world and stuff, all kinds of bizarre uh, reality shows. I'm going to call it that. And then yeah, I got to check out. The Frontiersman is so active, I can't keep up with him. He's got like a live stream every night, but I definitely need to, excuse me, need to check out some of his whiskey samplings. All right, peace out, Tom. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. Safe travels back to the home unit. Hope that you'll will return home to a peaceful and happy home. That's all we can ask for. Yeah. Yeah, the Long I remember I can't remember if it was the last trip. I think it was maybe the September trip when I was staying at Wynn. I decided that I needed to order the strongest possible drink I could because there was the late night cocktail service was not so great. So I figured if I was going to get something, I would get something that would I would need many of to knock me out. And so yeah, I had a couple Long Islands that night. The other one that was recommended to me was an Adios M&F'er. I don't think I've ever actually had one of those, but those are all right. I have finally developed a taste for the Fireball. So yeah, that the cinnamony whiskey has become a favorite of sorts. At least it's not quite as toxic as the straight vodka. But yeah, you'll never catch the Kinos. The Kinos had already done, 800 hours of live streaming before they even had a subscriber. So you got to be impressed with that. But yeah, I have Adios and it is no joke. Yeah, it is not. I don't know though. I kind of prefer the drinks that don't sneak up on you. I'd rather just take a shot and then you can feel it immediately. I need instant gratification when it comes to strong liquor. Uh, so I want to feel it hit me. That's all I'm saying. There you go. But I do have to say the sampling of whiskeys at the Kino wedding reception after party was pretty epic. I don't know all those $100 bottles of whiskey, but they were extremely tasty alcohol, at least until I forget what happened. But, hey, it's all right. I made it home and I had both shoes. For me, that's a win. Yeah, it was a good time. Good time. I know by the end of the night, there were like a half a dozen of us, I think, including the bride, that were basically like conked out against the wall. Yeah. See, I think that's what happens to the candy, is that the drinks hit her pretty hard. So yeah, the I don't know. The candy's probably been off the White Claw for a few weeks. What with her recovery, uh, or perhaps alcohol is considered an important part of a full recovery from invasive surgeries. I'd like to think that it would be, but it probably, yeah, probably isn't. But yeah, so. Oh, yeah. That Sahara Wall had some carnage around it. Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. Uh, yeah. It's Candy. It's nice that you have no memory of your wedding night. That's probably it's probably all for the best. God only knows what terrible things happened on that night. Uh, no alcohol, maybe next week. All right. Well, good luck with the doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I hope that you are approved for alcohol. And he's figured Candy was on the alcohol pre-wedding, or probably during the proposal. We don't know. She may have been. Keno might have kept her inebriated for like 6 months straight. We don't know. We do not know what kind of shenanigans was going on there, but I'm sure it was quite the thing. She often forgets most nights with me. Well, most of us do. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot else to discuss tonight. Said we'll probably do a live this next month of some sort, an official preview. We can't do it the last Wednesday of the month because I'll be on a plane on my way to Vegas. But so maybe we'll do it the week before or something like that. I don't know. I guess like I said, outside of the events of September 5th, uh, I really don't have any specific plans. Wow. Well, that sounds epic, DJ Jenny and me. Wow. All the way in Prince Edward Island. That sounds beautiful. I know my folks drove around like Lake Superior and the Great Lakes on the Canadian side after they retired. That's probably been now 20, 25 years ago. Thought it was quite beautiful. I've only done it on the US side, but that is a highly underrated sort of scenic area of the country. It's driving around the lakes for sure. So safe travels to you, and we'll look forward to more of your adventures on video once you return. We need to all take more trips, except the Kinos. The Kinos do not need to take any more trips. Definitely do not. So they take enough. You know, someday got to make it up to Canada. I mean, there's some people I like up there, so it'd be nice to check out. Yeah, you know, I had the same response, Mark. I was like, Kino knows everybody's name. Kino knows everybody's name. Thank you. Good night, Tracy. Appreciate you. Always. Trips are getting away from the children. Pretty soon, your trips are going to be visiting the children as they get older and make their way away. Way away? Way away from you. Teens are crazy. I think probably everyone is crazy. Perhaps, oh, right, on Lake Michigan. Where in general on Lake Michigan are you? I could probably look this up somewhere, but I'm probably too lazy to do that. But yeah, Lake Michigan's very beautiful as well. My father, when he was in the Army, was actually stationed at Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is kind of where Lake Superior and Lake, I want to say Huron, kind of come together. And so we visited there once when I was a teenager. That was the trip that we sort of traveled around the Great Lakes, but that was literally a very cool spot in the middle of July. Wake up to frost in the morning. Uh, Hello, Kevin. Vegas Visual dropping by as he would tend to do, just as Yeah, well, there was good gambling fortune all around, Kevin, on the trip. Uh, so it was a very lucrative few days in Las Vegas, in many ways. So yeah, but, yeah, south of Green Bay, Manitowoc. Yeah, we went through that area. We went through that area. I want to say I had a friend in college who, at least I think I don't know if she grew up around there, went to school in that area, like Manitowoc. Some really interesting, strange names in that part of the country. I remember like Menominee, Wisconsin or something too. That was, yeah. So, yeah, pretty part of the country. I remember I think we ate breakfast literally across from Lambeau Field. So it really was, I think I guess it still is just kind of planted right in the middle of this little town. Well, very good. But no, I don't. Stephen Avery ring a bell? I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell, but it probably should. Anyway, yeah, Kevin, we're just kind of wrapping things up here, just talking about the secret trip to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and so a good time was had by all. Well, I think it was had by all. Uh, I'll still be back in 5 weeks. And I know some of you will be as well. So, any questions for us here in the Vegas tips and tricks universe before we call it a night? At least till we call it a night from here. Usually don't like to run these things more than an hour unless there's some sort of deep and profound conversation going on. Yeah, we played a lot. I was going to point we had pretty good success playing the roulette machines. You know, the highly uh, slandered, libeled. I don't know what you want to call it. Um, little, they have the bubble craps machines, and they have the roulette machines as well. And so we were typically playing 4 or 5 numbers. Um, and we're doing really well hitting numbers, particularly over at Mandalay Bay one morning. So I think I hit my number like 3 times in about 5 minutes and turned $20 into 100. So that was kind of nice too. Break any local, state, or federal laws while in Clark County? No, I do not believe so. I am not entirely certain on all uh, local and state regulations in Nevada, but no, I don't believe so. But thanks for asking. Vegas Visuals next documentary will be an expose on vloggers being arrested in Las Vegas. So look into that one. We want to do full background checks on all of these vloggers, and you can finally turn the camera on some of these ne'er do wells who are posing as upstanding U.S. citizens. It's a first for JR. I don't know about that. Had a lot of trips that were pretty laid back. Doing some research. Yeah. No, I'm sure they're. I don't know what the laws are on public drunkenness, but they have to be pretty lax in Las Vegas based on what I've observed over the years. So maybe I violated that one somewhere along the way. Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. I got an email, I think it was yesterday, actually. One of those emails basically that you get because you're on 5,000 mailing lists. It's like, hey, you should do a deep search on this particular uh, search thing. So I did. I searched for myself, and it assured me that there was all kinds of scandalous information, and that I should not use this information to make any employment or rental decisions. And then, of course, as soon as you wait like 20 minutes for all of this information to be compiled about you, you then find out that you have to spend like $25 a month to access it. So I didn't. So, I probably could get the login information if any of you wants to pony up 25 bucks to find out all about me. And in fact, you really could just do that yourself. Can't remember what the website was, but yeah, blame Kino. It does feel like maybe Kino has a strange background that we don't know about. It's like he just appeared out of nowhere. Did he appear out of federal prison? We just don't know. Yeah. I find it hard to believe that Pennies has paid you off. That would suggest that it will not take a lot of cash to pay you off, Kevin. So, yeah. Anyway, Miss Live Roulette at Main Street saying it's Suncoast Sam's together for the ride downtown. For everyone's car rental early morning roulette is my jam. Yeah, I mean, it does have a little bit of Kino in it, I guess, in a manner of speaking. So I guess and it's obviously it's not a great investment most of the time, but it's kind of fun game to play, and just you throw whatever number of dollars you feel comfortable at it, and uh, if you're lucky enough to catch your number a couple of times, it can be profitable. And in the meantime, it's kind of entertaining. You get to watch the little wheel go around. There you go. Early morning roulette is my jam. The first night I was ever in Las Vegas, way back in the day, I did. A friend of mine gave me like 20 bucks and told me I was supposed to go play roulette for her. And I guess I did. Ultimately, I lost it all. I don't know if I was ever ahead, but I think I was mostly just betting like red or black, which, it's not very exciting. So I did come home. Both of us did within a couple of days of getting back from Las Vegas with rather bad colds. I guess they were colds. She took a COVID test and was negative. I assume I would have been negative as well because I'm pretty sure we had the same thing. Yeah, but yeah, I was kind of down for a few days. Even had a fever one night, which is kind of unusual. But so I don't know if you call it the Vegas flu or what. But took a little bit of time to get back to 100%. And now I'm sneezing because apparently it's just about hay fever season once again. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. I'm sure people have things to do like sleeping and eating and drinking, and some of you perhaps even gambling. But I want to appreciate everybody that dropped by tonight. Always good to see some friendly faces and the rest of you. Thanks again to Adam for the super chat. Much appreciated. And thanks to all of you who joined us here for part of the monthly live stream. And we'll continue to pump out mindless programming on a weekly basis until I can't anymore. So we will see you in the vlogs. We will see you on the channel. And hopefully we will see some of you in September. So good night, all. Thanks for joining us, and talk to you all again soon. Whoa, what was that? Good night.